Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today. This episode is sponsored by Uber One.
We've all used Uber for rides, and I love using Uber Eats for food delivery, okay? Hello. I mean, I kind of live off of it. But have you ever heard about Uber One? Uber One is a membership that helps you save on Uber and Uber Eats.
With an Uber One membership, you get exclusive member perks, like up to 10% off Uber Eats and a $0 delivery fee on eligible orders. It just makes sense.
I'm always getting Ubers. I'm always doing Uber Eats. This is the perfect sort of membership for me.
I use this all the time. Some restaurants charge so much for the delivery fee, and I order a ton of food. I've saved hundreds of dollars using this.
One membership to save on Uber and Uber Eats. Join Uber One today. Go to uber.com/Uber1 to learn more.
$0 delivery fee and percentage off discount subject to order minimums and participating stores. Taxes and other fees still apply.
I'm going to say something scandalous, Ronnie.
Go on.
Plants are meat. And not only are they meat, they're delicious, especially if they're from Impossible Foods.
They taste like beef.
Exactly. Impossible is making meat history this summer.
Yeah, they are. Summer of Impossible.
I am so excited to be spending time cooking my summer foods, all that good stuff. And guess what? We can use Impossible sausages, Impossible brats. I mean, it's going to be a great summer for Impossible Foods.
Impossible beef is made from plants and 19 grams of protein per serving, and it's better for the planet.
And it's meat.
Plant meat, correct. So if you're looking for something to grab for your grill, grab some Impossible beef.
Summer of Impossible.
Start making meat history today. Just head over to the meat aisle at your local grocery store, grab some Impossible beef or patties, and get grilling.
Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Crappens, crappens, crappens. Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker. Joining me today is the one and only Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am great, thanks. We're going to be recapping Real Housewives of Orange County, but I still have my Below Deck background up. And you know what? I'm not going to change it. I'm going to be on a sailboat.
It's going to be doing it from the boat.
Doing it from the boat. This is very exciting because this is our final episode of the week. And then guess what? Ronnie and I are going on vacation. It's going to be great. We're on vacation all of next week. However, there will be a whole week of content, okay? We are going to have recaps of the premiere of Dancing Queens as well as the finale of Dancing Queens next week. We are going to be releasing our recap of Real Housewives of New York that we recorded in Foxwoods. That's going to be next week. That's the tomfoolery episode. That's gonna, because there's a lot of media attention on the new Roni coming back. Huge articles in the New York Times, giant profile of Jenna Lyons in there. So riding that wave with that. Also, Miami is coming to Bravo, Real Housewives of Miami. So if you missed it on Peacock, you're now going to be able to see it for the first time. It is like a tremendous season. It actually won our Golden Crappy Award for Best Show of the Year as voted by the people. So we're releasing our recaps for that show if you missed it the first time around. And we also are releasing 2 Dwell Hellos onto the feed. So if you have not been able to listen to Dwell Hello on Wondery Plus, you're going to be able to hear it next week. So we have a lot of content, and that is all going to be coming your way. Now, if you're wondering, but wait, is there like a new Real Housewives of Orange County next week? Like, where's it going to, like, are you guys recapping it? The answer is a big no. Big no. And it's not against the show. It's that we're on vacation. We're on vacation. And so if you tweet me and say, is there a recap of Real Housewives of Orange County this week? I'm not going to answer. This is it. This is the answer right here. I'm telling you right now, I'm on vacation next week. I will not answer that question.
Yeah. Ben's going to block my number next week. Ben will be on vacation next week. Now, I told myself I'm going to go to Mexico by myself. I don't care. I'm going to act like I'm running from the law. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Guess what I planned? Nothing. I'm going to be sitting here. Nothing. I'm just going to tell my family, leave me alone. and I'm just going to stay here, stare at my walls. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Maybe play Zelda. Maybe I'll download Zelda.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's great. I think next week I'm going to play video games. I'm going to play board games. I'm going to play video games. I'm going to cook food. I already was watching a video about making a quiche this morning and getting so excited. I'm like going to make a quiche. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do
That's
all
your
the
tantric
things.
breathing video from Below Deck. That guy,
Yes.
Alex, was watching tantric breathing videos to like calm himself, and you're watching quiche videos. That's your version of tantric breathing.
It
Quiche.
is. I mean, that is really the best way to breathe, is to breathe in quiche, you know? And so I apologize in advance for people who are
Don't apologize for shit.
disappointed because
Nope.
they are like, where's
Nope.
my recap? But it
Nope.
will not be there. It will not be
Nope.
there, and there will not be a makeup recap for it. It will not. We're just going to resume
Until
where we
next
left
week,
off.
and I'm like, Ben, I feel
I know.
guilty because we should be doing
Right.
it.
Don't make us feel guilty, people, because
Not until
it's going
I
to undo
make you
vacation.
feel guilty. Me.
And
I don't have
guess what I'm
rules.
going to say? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. You know, we can talk about it. We can talk about what we missed. But I am drawing a line in the sand, everyone. It is vacation time, and it's vacation time for all of us. But anyway,
all of you
that's what's
too.
happening.
Just not
Yeah.
vacation from us. Keep listening to us. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough about talking about vacation, because this is not vacation. Guess what? This is
It's-
the Housewives vacation.
That's right.
It's a
This is
very,
not about
very
vacation.
classy vacation.
This is about a show about people going on vacation that we're going to recap.
Yes, and it's the Real Housewives of Orange County, and we're celebrating Tamara being back with her hick ranch son by going to a dude ranch, because it's not bad enough they brought this mother effer back onto my television, his transphobic, homophobic, racist ass on television. Now we get to celebrate the fact that he's a cowboy by visiting a dude ranch. So I already said this in last week's episode, but fuck you, show, and fuck you, Tamara, and fuck your son, okay? Get your fucking son off my TV and get his fucking lifestyle off my TV. I don't want to be reminded of either things. Okay, that hatred out of the way. Love the episode. What a fun episode. What a fun time.
I know, it was really good. It started to make me wonder, like, like I always thought, like, without Gina, the show really kind of elevates. But now I'm like, well, maybe it's without Emily. Maybe it's without both of them, you know? Gina wasn't there for that flamingo party, and that was hilarious. And then Emily hasn't been here for this trip, and it's been hilarious. So I think what we're sensing is we don't need either of them. I don't know. I don't want to come from a place of negativity.
Too late.
But,
well, I don't
there
really
we are.
care about them particularly. At this point, I figure they've got something on the producers because they're back every single year. I enjoy Emily. I think she's kind of funny. She doesn't really do much except like stir the pot a little and make funny side comments. That's enough. Gina's not even bothering me that much yet. I think they're good in this small dose that we're getting of them, where it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, what's Gina going to do this year? Like run away from a parking ticket, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, that's like Gina's life. So I think the magic has nothing to do with those two. I think it has to do with Tamara's annoying, but she's doing her job. Then you've got this new Jen who is immediately controversial from having an affair that everybody's going to make into a huge storyline. She seems like a mess. Also, Tamara immediately coming for her. I think she was good casting, dare I say. And Heather Dubrow's like right in her sweet spot where she's really just relegated to be a supporting character again. I think last year the trouble was trying to make Heather the lead of this show. She's not. So just having her kind of be on the side, and then having Shannon and I don't know, those four, I think Shannon, Tamara, Jen, and Heather, I think are a good mix for now.
Yeah, and then the sort of like the light frisson of passive aggression that Taylor Armstrong brings is nice. I think that Emily Emily stirs the pot and everything, and Emily's likable, but I think that ultimately Emily and Gina really are friend ofs that have for some reason received full cast member status and have stayed there for like 5 or 6 years. I just don't understand how they stay when you have like open wounds like Noella or like a Claudia Jordan on Atlanta, how they are just like one season wonders, but Emily and Gina are here year after year after year. I just don't understand it. But you know what?
At least they're real. I feel like Noella was a big faker, and she never did anything real. And I think that was her main problem. Emily and Gina are at least real. And I think that where the producers are coming from with them are like, they're relatable. Now, none of us watch Real Housewives because we want to see relatable things. I think that's what the producers forgot. Yeah. We don't need to see somebody who like, I love a taco. Like, I know that everyone cheers whenever she says taco or or turkey sandwich in a spa, but I don't think we're here for relatable. But I think that's why they're here, because they're relatable among a bunch of wackos.
Yeah, no, I think that's what it is also. But I think you're even more correct when you say that that's not what this show is supposed to be about. It never was about that. And I feel like when Real Housewives tries to be relatable or tries to dip into like, you're just hanging out with a bunch of your girlfriends, like you're all playing Truth or Dare together, that's when the show kind of stumbles the most. I think for me, I am all about watching people who are very wealthy and are very deluded about their lives and the world around them, and how do they navigate? How do these people navigate in a real world? And Gina's a little too real world. I need her to be a little bit more. I need her to be more like wealthy, I guess. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the Orange County credits to this very season, now we're 17 seasons in, they always show a gate closing. It's always to be like, we are in a gated community. You're not allowed in. This is our world.
Right. We need shots of Gina just with her hands on the bars of the gate. Like, hey, but I left my keys in there. And I'm like, we're not falling for that again, ma'am. Okay. You are outside not in the gates.
Gina and Emily are not in the gate, and that's a problem. Okay.
They are in the booth of the gate. You know what I mean?
They're in their car talking to the guard saying like, no, I know someone in there. Can you just try again? Can you just buzz them one more time?
But I have a pizza. They're like, no, ma'am.
I have the keys. I rented an Airbnb. They said I could just tell you guys that. I'm allowed in.
I think it's so funny when we start analyzing the dumbest show on television. Like, this one isn't even, this is Orange County, okay? I can't even believe Orange County's still on. I thought Orange County would have been canceled a couple of seasons ago, if not last season at least, you know? But it's back, and it's been good. Like, I've actually really been enjoying it. So let's just get into it, because we're analyzing possibly the dumbest thing that I've ever watched and enjoyed.
Well, there'll be plenty more of this for many more years to come. So the episode opens up with Emily driving her kid Annabelle to a modeling gig. And she's like, just remember, be respectful. If they ask questions, you answer. And she's like, what do they say? Like, when you walk in, and Annabelle's like, how are you? My name is Mr. Banks. And she's like, how about you just say your name is Annabelle? Annabelle.
Okay, your kid's annoying. That does not mean that she should be a model. Okay. Yeah. Second thing, I have to give Emily credit because she's got the self-confidence. Like, it's solid like a rock, this woman. Okay. Mm-hmm. You purposely give a child Shane's face and then drive to a modeling agency. I mean, that is chutzpah. That is chutzpah. Just kidding, guys. Annabelle's actually really cute. But doesn't she have Shane's face?
I don't think so, actually.
She looks just like Shane. So. She looks like a young, kind of cute, not bald version of Shane. But I can just see Shane, okay? I know it's not nice to diss children, and I'm not dissing her. I think she actually is a very cute child. I hope she gets a shampoo, conditioner, maybe a leave-in conditioner, might I suggest. Otherwise, Shane face, okay?
I literally don't see that. But I also, you know what, though? I don't think I've looked at Annabelle's face long enough, I'm sorry to say. So Emily is...
I didn't need to look at it long. I looked at it once, and I said, dork! You're a twerp is what you are. You're a dork.
So Emily is taking Annabelle to the modeling agency because she says that Annabelle came out of the womb. She came out of a wound also, I'm sure, with a big personality and just wanted to model. And this is what she's wanted to do for years and years and years. And now Emily, she feels like Annabelle is at the age where, she can take modeling seriously, as evidenced by the fact that she wants to introduce herself as Mr. Banks.
Yeah. So she's going to be a model. And the modeling agent, there's like good cop and bad cop. Yeah. They have Jake, good cop. good gay cop.
Yeah,
And
good
then
gay
they
cop.
have Jackie, evil bad cop
She's
with an
the-
accent. Okay. They're like, can we get a Russian in here to give the bad news to the people? Like, we're back to like the 80s where everybody's villain is like a Russian. So
Yeah.
she's not really Russian, but she has some kind of accent I can't figure out.
I detected like maybe an Australian accent or maybe it was South African. I couldn't tell, but there was enough of an accent there to be like, well, I represent models, so now I have to have an accent. So Jackie
So
is
they're
like,
good cop and bad cop. So Jake's like, hi, I'm Jake. And she's like, I'm Jackie. Sit down, stupid Shane face. You sit down, dry hair. And so they do. And he's like, oh my God, how's your day going? And Emily says, we just spent a lot of time in the car. And they explain to Emily that she's kind of the one auditioning because basically children being a model means they have to have a parent who's a cab driver. Right. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, well, I have time. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. And Jake just looks at her like, poor thing. You're a housewife. God. You poor thing.
And then, of course, Emily makes this about her childhood because she's like, being around my kids, I've like been so invested in my own life. And it brings up a lot of memories of my own childhood. And like, when you're growing up, you don't know. Your mom should like be waking up with you to have breakfast with you. And I just didn't know that because no one did that for me. And that's just weird. It's like no one did that. I'm like, I'm sorry. This was like 3 seasons ago for you. I get it. I feel bad for you. But I already felt this emotion and I'm not willing to go back.
Fresh trauma. You know what I mean? And listen, I tell myself the same shit all the time. I've worked through so much trauma on this here podcast over the years. I mean, if you listen to the early years, please don't, by the way. If you listen to early years, I worked through a lot of stuff. I've gone through a lot of addictions. I've worked through a lot of stuff and I've gained new traumas since. I've picked up new traumas along the way. Yeah. And let me just tell you, don't marinate in your old traumas. Get new traumas, okay? I'm not saying just suddenly be happy, okay? You're allowed to have trauma. Get new ones, Emily. It's been forever. If not for yourself, then for the audience, okay? I don't want to hear it. And that's one of my mom's traumas, too, is like being a Keystone kid, I think is what they're called. No.
Latchkey.
But that's like a Keystone cop.
Keystone cop.
When she was being forced to like solve mysteries as a child, that was traumatic for my mother. But being a latchkey kid where she had to come home and she had to cook and, it's because your parents were working to give you a decent life. Get a new trauma. You know what I mean? That one's not going to cut it for me. Also,
trauma's like fashion, You just can't stay. You can't stay the same. Trauma is like fashion. You need it to always be new every season, okay?
Yeah, I need fresh trauma.
It needs to be refreshed.
Your trauma is flash frozen, and it can only be whipped out of the refrigerator again so many times before it kills you. Like fish. It's like bringing fish home from dinner.
Well, I hope
just heat it up 5 times, okay? You have one time to heat it up.
I hope your mom has gotten over the trauma of being a Keystone cop at one time in her life.
She solved a lot of mysteries between the ages of 5 and 11. I have to hand it to her.
There's a lot of bumbling, but
she kept El Paso safe.
Fell down a lot of staircases and bumped into a lot of people. Isn't that what the Keystone cops did? Didn't they just like run into each other?
Pretty much.
Just like. Anyway, trauma. What a delight. So there's a photo shoot, and so of course Jake is now like, okay, good cop stepping in, gonna give lots of gay affirmations. So he's like, okay, you have great hair, Annabelle. Your hair, you have great hair. Okay, let's do like a serious fashion look, Annabelle. Yes, Annabelle. Yes, that was amazing. You are too cute, Annabelle. I'm sorry.
He's like, let's do serious fashion. Your mom just told you to clean your room. Do it. And she's like, like giving a look like, I'm not going to do it, Mom. And then Jackie's like, oh, look at you. You look so happy. We'll be in touch. Ugly. Go out the door marked ugly. Go. Go.
May I make referral to Penny Saver magazine model section? That's for you. So now we go to the boot barn. Where Tamra is walking in with a fedora. She's like, hey, bitches, I know you sell cowboy hats, but I'm coming in with a fedora to show you what's the real hat around this parts. Also, it's funny as like in college, we'd call throwing up booting, and like boot was like to throw up. So the fact that they go to boot barn, I just feel like it's appropriate for Tamra.
Yeah. So Jen comes and Gina comes and Jen's like, wow, it's really hot as hell outside. And Gina's like, that's where you're going to burn for eternity, you cheetah. And Tamara's like, you're not even in the scene, Gina. Get out of the scene. You're not at the call shit. Gina just goes back with her hands behind the bars.
So Tamara, so Jen is like, wow, so I was telling Ryan I'm going to a dude ranch, and he was like, why are you going to a ranch with a bunch of dudes?
Yeah, I'm a mechanical ball there, because we're going to learn to ride, we're going to rope, we're going to ride, we're going to cook over a fire.
She's like, yeah, all the type of shit that girls don't want to do. I want to get down and dirty. So then Heather walks in with like a bottle of champagne for the boot barn, and she's wearing like a white jumpsuit that has sort of rhinestones in it. It looks sort of quasi Elvis-y, you know.
That's her Western wear. She's coming to the Western shop in her Western wear. She's coming on theme to the Western wear shop.
Yeah, she's definitely like doing a lot of like Will Rogers Follies in this episode. She's like, oh, Western costumes. I can do this.
Give man enough rope. And he can hang himself up high, or he can touch up in the sky. Give man enough rope. I was in the Will Rogers Follies slick.
Oh, yeah? Did you do the slappy thing?
No, that was all the showgirls. I wasn't Will Rogers. I was not even... I really wanted to be an understudy for one of the male dancer dude guys that dance on the steps. And every day I would go up there and practice at the dinner theater, the tap dance, every day. And I was like, I'm practicing. I'm getting so good. They see me up here burning the midnight oil, and they're going to let me do it. And then the director, who was Richard Simmons' stand-in, Norb, that
Richard Simmons was in it?
No, his stand-in. His stand-in was the director. He was a musical theater director, but he was also Richard Simmons' stand-in, because Richard Simmons, it turns out, spoiler alert, doesn't even do most of his own exercising, which is why he remained chubby most of his career. He would get these big conventions together of big people and be like, let's do some sweating to the sweat times, or whatever he used to do. And then people would dance, and then he would run behind a screen, and you would see just the shadow of him doing all the dancing. And that was actually this director, Norb. So anyway, that was his claim to like shame fame, I guess, shame fame. And then he didn't cast me even as an understudy after I learned all the dance. I was so upset. That's when I learned it doesn't matter how hard you try, so stop making efforts. And I would just like to say, I will not keep your secret anymore. Norb Jerder, stand-in for Richard Simmons, you fucking liar. And also, Richard Simmons, wherever you are, you're a fucking liar too. There. Now everybody knows.
Wow, so much has been revealed. That was great.
I've just Jackie Badcopped your asses right on this recap. Enjoy it. Enjoy your week off, bitches.
And the best part is Richard Simmons is now like in seclusion, so you know what?
He should be. He fucking should be. It's probably not even him in seclusion. It's probably Norb sitting in his living room, so nobody thinks that Richard Simmons is in seclusion.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You fucks. That's what you get for fucking with 19-year-old Ronnie Karam. I'll ruin your life 28 years later.
Yeah, you bet. That just goes to show, if you see a young man tap dancing on the top of a staircase late at night, you
give him that role.
Give him that role.
Give him that understudy role.
He's got all the dirt.
I'll bring you down. You're next, Sally Kellerman. Just kidding. I actually liked her.
You never know when someone will get a platform. Okay, and then tap dance on it.
You're next, Robert Goulet. I got stories about you, bitch.
What about what's her face? All right, what's the Carrie Fisher's mom?
Oh, Debbie Reynolds. She was lovely. Yeah, she was lovely. I have nothing bad to say about her.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
Ronnie and Ben here. Since we started the podcast, we've dissected a lot of shows that have featured hilarious, insane, and internet-breaking moments. Okay, Ben, what is your pick for the most insane Bravo fight?
I want to throw it back to the crazy leg throwing fight. See what I did there? Throwing on Real Housewives of New York, which I mean, that's a classic. And for those people who do not know about it, first of all, shame on you. Just kidding. No shame. But former Real Housewife of New York City, Aviva Drescher, was responsible for one of the most bizarre cat fights in the history of Real Housewives. Because while she was yelling her iconic line of "the only thing that is artificial or fake about me is this woman threw her prosthetic leg across the floor at Le Cirque. Okay? It horrified everyone.
Yeah, Aviva really sent the internet into a frenzy, and she won instant immortality status, even if not another season, And on the topic of wins and legs, we wish break a leg to all the artists competing on Audible's music competition podcast Breakthrough, who are about to perform their final songs before the show crowns a winner.
I'm just like, I can't believe how close we are to the series finale, by the way. I mean, I just realized, like, it is right here. It is upon us. I honestly have no idea who's going to win.
I don't either. And I like that they still have not been actually seen by the judges. I think that that's really cool. The judges aren't going to see, like literally see what they've been dealing with until the finale.
Yeah, and I like that the winners can be picked based on their growth and their overall performance throughout the season. I'm honestly, I really can't wait.
Yeah, it's really the way that they did it without kicking people off. It's just like, these are the people that we want to develop. Who did we develop the most? I really like, it's a nice twist on that genre. And I'm really excited to see who's going to win. We can't believe it's almost coming to an end. Join us to check out the next episode. Listen on Audible or wherever you get your podcasts. Go to audible.com/Crappens. That's audible.com/Crappens. New beginnings are in season on the Max original series, and just like that.
From executive producer Michael Patrick King, alongside stars and executive producers Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristen Davis, the exciting next chapter of Sex and the City follows Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte as they navigate the complicated reality of life, love, and friendship in their 50s.
Alongside Naya, Che, Seema, and LTW, this vibrant group of friends experiences the ups and downs of life, knowing they can always count on each other.
Watch the brand new 11-episode season of And Just Like That, streaming only on Max.
And listen to the official podcast hosted by executive producer, writer, and director Michael Patrick King after every episode.
Find And Just Like That, The Writer's Room, wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah. That's good. Well, Heather walks in dressed like Will Rogers Follies and is like, happy birthday! Happy birthday to Tamra. Was it Tamra's birthday? I think it's Tamra's birthday. And so she's just celebrating someone's birthday. So Tamra's like, oh, wow. Heather is like very white for Montana. We're going to live on the Earth, batch. And
Heather's very white for everywhere. Heather could be in Utah and she'd be too white. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we go to
Lander's Supply House.
A poorer version of this cowboy store. We go to a vintage thrift cowboy store with Gina, the poor person, at the poor version. This was some funny shit. I like that they did. They were like, let's show the ladies shopping in two different scenes. The rich ones and the poor one.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally like the Boot Barn was fancy. And then Lander's Supply House, you could just see someone with like a broom sweeping up dust bunnies and like red and blue and yellow tags dangling from things, just like old and dusty and gross.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for Gina. And she's browsing for shirts, and Emily joins, and Shannon joins, and Shannon's like, "Oh wow, this is a funky place here. Wow, I like this. I'm in the market for some chaps because Wacky Shannon's going on vacation soon." Ha!
And we see a clip, like Shannon's looking for chaps, and so we get a clip of Shannon talking about assless chaps with Tamra. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to get some Oshkosh B-Gosh. I'm going to do it. And they actually have some for her to try on.
Yes.
And then Gina's like, I am the most excited to dress like a cowgirl, but I do not consider myself a nature girl. And I hope that no one ever considers me a nature girl, because ew. Why does she open her eyes so wide this season? She's like playing a completely different character. It's really weird.
It is weird, and I don't think anyone's going to confuse Gina for a nature girl, not anytime soon.
Unless nature, as far as like living out of your car, if that's nature, like you have to be on the side of the road a lot, probably on family vacations. That's nature.
I mean, she definitely has like camped out in a tent in front of like a TJ Maxx before opening.
That's for sure. She has definitely done some Black Friday camping,
Yes, she definitely
She's like
has.
going to turn those frowns upside down Walmart sales on Black Friday.
Michael's. She's just setting up she's cooking, roasting, making s'mores in the Michael's parking lot, waiting for it to open.
Yeah.
So Heather's like, she's trying on like a cowboy hat. She's like, oh my, you know what? I have very big ears. I have to call Terry. And Jen is like, oh really? Is it hard being married to a plastic surgeon? You know, because you can sort of get anything you want anytime. And Heather's like, oh no, he's blind. He thinks I'm perfect. At least that's what I tell him to tell me.
Girl, maybe you shouldn't be telling the whole world that your husband, who does very careful surgeries on people, that he's blind. It's like, I think there are enough Yelp reviews. I don't even know how Terry's Yelp reviews are, actually. I'm just assuming there's a lot of terrible ones, because I feel like a lot of times people come out of plastic surgery and they still don't look hot, and then they blame the surgeon, you know?
Yeah.
But I haven't read his Yelp reviews, but this was not the strongest endorsement to say that. It's like, Terry, what? He can't even walk. He's blind. Got shaky hand, Terry. Whoa, shaky hands.
So then Emily sits down on a chair the wrong way, which I found very funny, because it's one of those stupid stools that has like, it's like a stool that pretends that it's actually a seat, but it's like literally nowhere even close to being a seat, because it's a stool, but it has like a little ridge at the back, as if like, here, this is the same thing as back support, a 1-inch railing for your butt. Like, that does nothing.
Is it like one of those saddle stools? I couldn't tell what it was.
It was just like, you know, one of those stools that sort of comes up, like, it just comes up a little bit, you know, and she sat on the part that came up, and I was laughing because A, I would do that, but B, I was laughing at the nature of those stools. Like, what is the point of those? Like, give me a full back don't give me 1 inch of a back. Give me a full, 2-foot back.
I think probably whoever invented those stools has seen me sit on a stool with my butt crack hanging out and was like, you know what? I don't want to pay for an entire back, but we need enough coverage to cover guys like that butt cracks from coming out.
Shield.
Like, no one else in here can eat their fucking hamburgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll take the fall for that. I'll take the fall for that one. So Shannon's like, they're talking about Tamra, right? Like, what were you and Tamra hugging the other day? That was nuts. That was really crazy to see. And Shannon's like, well, she did apologize for what happened on the boat. And, at Cut Fitness, she said, oh, yeah, and also I'm sorry for the press. And she wrapped it all up in a bow. And you just don't get to say sorry for one thing and then wrap it all up in a bow. I need separate sorries. Okay. I'm going to organize my sorries in different bowls. Well, this one had this little Tupperware has a sorry where you screwed me over while I was trying to make up with David. And then I want the other bowl where you tried to have me committed to a mental institution with Miss Heather Dubrow while I was trying to throw a decent dinner party. Okay.
It's beautiful bows. Yeah, you can't just you can't just apologize. Just do a quick apology and then just move forward.
And then I wish they would have cut to 2 weeks ago, Jen being like, you were talking over my story of adopting. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But to be fair, that was 3 sorries for one thing. You see what I mean? So she is kind of living up to what she's saying. She's giving multiple apologies. Whereas Tamara's like, here's your one apology for literally being a monster for how long have they known each other now? 10 years or something? Because Tamara's been monstrous to Shannon. Okay.
Yeah. She has
the worst thing you can say about Shannon is that she called Tamara crying too much. That's it. I mean, that's not great. Nobody loves that. But Tamara could have just hung up or said, I'm busy, or you're draining the life out of me. Tamara's done way meaner stuff.
Tamara was wretched to Shannon in Shannon's first season. And it was always so strange to me that Shannon then embraced her as a friend in the next season. And then for seasons going forward, they were always friends, and it felt like they were friends because they had been friends. And I always am like, you do realize that Tamara was terrible to you and has been now terrible to you again, and you're just going to go back to it. But, I guess that's the nature of someone like Shannon Bedore.
And Shannon does that thing where she's like, well, this time I am going to stand up for myself because I have changed. This is not the same Shannon Bedore that would be a doormat. And then, by the end of the episode, she's just laying down and writing welcome on her chest, with a Sharpie. She's like, all right, just walk all over me. God, it's good to have you back, Tamara. This is good.
Here lies Shannon Bedore. Now a doormat. Shannon Bedore mat. Walk all over. Welcome.
This time, Shannon Bedore is lying on her own terms. That's right.
So Shannon then turns and says,
Oh, so by the way, you, at the end of the night, said, So, Tamara, how did it feel knowing that an affair started here in your gym?
and so Gina's like, you know what? Honestly, Shannon, that's what's been bothering me. And this isn't like Jen's fault. I'm just saying that, even though I do believe it is her fault. But, and like, I understand that, but it's like hard to be like around her to justify the infidelity. And like, I have a little bit of a trigger when it comes to that, you know? She was like, oh yeah, yes, it's a big trigger for me too. I just want to add my trauma onto yours there for a moment, because I did find David walking on the beach with a slut one time. Don't forget that.
And it is triggering for Shannon as well, because David's mistress does look kind of like Jen. I mean, she has the same template face from the Groupon doctor that they all go to. And, you know, she does have that Real Housewives of Orange County template walking on the beach. And so I think Shannon should be more, not that it's a war of like who gets to be more triggered, but today I'm just coming in very team Shannon today. So even though she's not fighting with anybody right now, I'm still on her team, and I want Gina to shut up. Yeah. So also, I think that's like your husband's thing, and you forgave your husband. You know what I mean? Like, you forgave your husband and you're fine with your husband, and I don't think it's fair to use someone else's shit against them, even though they're a cheater, you know? I mean, I'm not saying you have to approve of it and be like, oh my God, I love that you cheated on your husband, but it's not really up to you to be a dick to them about it, you know? They'll suffer their own thing. It's up to me to be a dick about it. Leave it to me.
Yeah, and Gina's talking about how she's in the process of helping Matt get his felony charges dropped to help the family, and hearing Jen casually talk about this thing that she did that has horrible effects on so many people is really a hard pill to swallow. Well, I get that, because, you know, affairs can be really devastating for people to go through. But Matt's felony thing, that's Matt. That's like Jen definitely did not do the things that Matt did. And
I didn't like that she tied those two things together either, because she's like, yeah, I'm traumatized because here I am trying to help my husband get past his felonies. And then over here, we've got this cheater. And I'm like, yeah, but he was physically abusive. And that man deserves to you. And that man deserves those felonies. You're trying to help him get out of the felony
that he did to you. You're showing more grace to this guy.
Right. And I get, because that's the father of her children, and, you know, I don't want to get too about it, but I'm like, don't tie the male abusing a female thing in with a woman cheating on her husband. You know, I don't know. I didn't like that tie-in. I think she's reaching.
I think I totally get that she's triggered. Like, I think that's fair for her to be triggered. And you know what? Listen, I can't complain about Gina being boring and then getting mad when she's like, you know, trying to start up a story here. But
it's not her story. Kind of it's just like her being mad about something she's not involved in at all.
Yeah, know? That's the thing. It just feels like she could do better. She could do better in terms of things to be upset about. Stories and things to be upset about. And I don't know, of finding something interesting about her personality. So,
yeah. Claire's Boutique is not a personality. You know what I mean?
Well,
Trust
it could
me,
be
I've
worse.
tried it too.
She could be talking about Carabella. So we go back to Heather, and she goes, so Jen, you and Ryan have been together for how long now? And Jen is like, 2.5 years. Oh, so that is like, okay, so that's like basically 1/12 of my acting career. Got it, 2.5 years. Perfect, wonderful, great for you.
And you were separated, or were you divorced from your husband? How long before you met Ryan? I know the answers to this because Tamara's already told me that you're a slut. So just go ahead and confess again, because we're going to make you do that every time we hang out. And Jen's like, actually, I was not divorced from my husband. I was still trying to work through whatever the hell was going on with him. You know, me asking him to go out, him hiding me like I was the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you know, traumas like that. Now, did I have a physical relationship while I was married? No. But was I still emotionally 5 miles down the road while actually being hundreds of miles down the road because I had him get a job in Oklahoma for my family so I could fuck in the steam room? Yes. You know, it's just that Ryan and I are so connected. We go places, we see concerts. I'm like, oh my God, this poor lady is just so excited to go out to a restaurant that she's left her husband. You know what I mean? This is what happens when you don't take anybody anywhere. They're like, they took me to the state fair. And it's like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. Dump him, you know, but she's never been anywhere.
She's like, you know, we are so connected. I mean, the first time he invited me to go to a Papa Roach concert, I was like, my soulmate. So then Tamara's like,
I know you know they go to Dave Matthews though. You know you would run into them because you're a Dave Matthews head.
Listen, I know.
You're a DM head.
I am a Dave Matthews fan. People don't know this. I've gone to 22 concerts of Dave Matthews.
Yeah,
but also like, but what's interesting though is that the Dave Matthews often plays in Irvine, which is in Orange County, and the Irvine Dave Matthews crowd has a certain look to it, and that is Jen and Ryan. You're 100% correct. I would totally see them there.
I
would
feel
see
like
them there, and then we'd probably like bond while listening to like Crash Into Me, and I'd be like, "Fuck you, Ronnie, for ever saying something mean about these two wonderful people who understand me."
So Tamara's like, yeah, so you got to say Matthews is somebody. Does he talk about marriage with you? And Jen's like, yes, but Tamara knows the problem because he does have a past too. And I'm like, oh no. And Heather goes, why? Did he kill someone? What's the past?
What's
he do?
The past? Who has he killed? So Jen's like, no, he didn't kill someone. Is he a cheater? Is he a cheater? And Jen is like, yes, he is. And he will tell you, I've never been faithful to anyone. He'll tell you. I'm like, do you get brownie points for being
Jen's
upfront?
a fucking idiot. Oh my God. And Tamara goes, yeah, he's a murderer. He's got a couple marriages. That was good.
I mean, I feel like he's like a Roth IRA, right? Like he's you pay your taxes up front or whatever, but it's still paying taxes. Terrible analogy. I'm gonna move on. But
you're still gonna pay your taxes later. You
the
sound
point
like
is,
me. I'm like, what's the point of saving if I don't have to pay my taxes now, but I'm gonna have to pay them later when they're gonna be 80%?
You're still paying taxes. You do regular IRA or Roth IRA. Okay, taxes are happening now or later. But so him being upfront about the cheating, it just means you find out about the cheating now, but the cheating is still gonna happen.
So basically, you're okay. Here's what cracks me up about Orange County. Now, I've never lived there, but I've been there a lot because of catering. Okay, that's why everybody. I've worked a lot of parties in Orange County, and we know friends in Orange County and stuff like that. Let me just tell you, the culture in Orange County is open marriages and everybody fucking each other. Everybody's been married a million times. There's literally nobody who doesn't cheat on each other in Orange County that I've met. I've never met somebody, and that's a big one because you guys on this show know people that I've met. There's no one that I've met that I believe has not cheated in Orange County on their spouse or had multiple threesomes or done all this stuff, which is totally fine because I'm a gay. I believe in that kind of lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Not that all gays believe in that, but I am one of the gays who do. So my point is, for anybody to be clutching their pearls about this in Orange County cracks me up because that's how you guys live. Stop pretending that you guys don't go vote on city councils with your thruples. I don't believe it.
By the way, what's also really good is we have to have as many crazy hot takes this episode because then we'll have a solid week where we can't respond if people get upset.
People getting pissed off. I'm on one today. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
This is not even a bad hot
furious.
take. This is not. If someone's offended by that hot take, they have to really just like chill out. Sorry that like Maria from Tustin is like, I'm in a very monogamous relationship. Sorry.
Well, your husband's not. I can tell you that one of you is cheating, and that comes from experience.
You better go track down. You better track down Robert because that lunch in Dana Point. Guess what? He's fucking someone.
Yeah. So, the valets there don't even have a wall of keys. They have a bowl. You drop your keys into the bowl. Okay. So
anyway,
yeah, Jen's doing. I'm sorry. What'd you say, honey?
I said it's a horrible place to live.
Yeah, sounds good to me. So Heather's like, okay, so he's a cheater. That's his thing. And she's like, yeah, and he's never been faithful. And Heather goes, but has he been faithful to you? And then we get a tss, 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 which is, I like the variation of the like just, it's like a sexy.
Yeah, it's sort of like ooh, I want this to be a burn, but maybe it's kind of a fun moment. I can't tell if it's comedy or burn. So we'll sort of do a little bit of both.
And Jen, there's a long pause and she goes, yes. She's obviously lying. And Heather goes, you think, is what you're saying. You think that he's been faithful to you. She's like, yes.
So Tamara's like, Ryan has quite a reputation, bitch. Because, by the way, this is clearly why Tamara was like, bring Jen on. Bring Jen on. She's great. And she probably recruits Jen on just so she can blow up Ryan's reputation here, right? And then Jen tells us, like, quite a reputation. There was a spot there was a spot that we kind of said, like, well, he kind of said, like, we need to take some time here, meaning that they had, like, by the way, they're not telling us, they're talking to each other, meaning that there was a moment where they took a break in their relationship for, like, I don't know, 5 days or something. And during that time, Ryan went out and fucked someone.
Like Ross and Rachel on a break. You were like Ross and Rachel on a break. And then while you were on the break, he might have had a little dalliance somewhere. And then Lisa Kudrow dated a food inspector to get Central Perk back on track and save Gunther. Is that what you're saying?
Heather Dubrow's only frame of references are TV shows that were airing while That's Life was on the air. So you had to take a break, like Frasier and Lilith. Am I right?
I once was close enough in a golf cart passing from the Friends set to my set where I saw Courtney Cox nibble on a triangle of a turkey sandwich and then put it back down. So, huge. It's a huge moment for everybody.
That's just how long and extensive my acting career has been, which I'm sure will not come into question by the end of this episode.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
Celebrity beef, you never know if you're just going to end up on TMZ or trending on Twitter or in court. I'm Matt Belisai.
And I'm Sydney Battle, and we're the hosts of Wondery's new podcast, Dis and Tell. Each episode explores a different iconic celebrity feud. From the build-up, why it happened, and the repercussions. What does our obsession with these feuds say about us?
We're starting off with a pretty messy love triangle between Selena Gomez and Justin and Hailey Bieber. A seemingly innocent TikTok of Selena talking about her laminated eyebrows. It snowballed into a full-blown alleged feud.
But it doesn't seem like fans are letting up anytime soon, despite both Selena and the Biebers making public statements denying any bad blood. How much of this is teen jealousy and lovers quarreling, and how much of it is a carefully crafted narrative designed to sell albums?
Follow Dis and Tell wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
So Tamara, of course, is like, someone I know. Because she's, of course, saying that, like, that Ryan slept with someone that she knows, which means that she is, again, Tamara is playing the long game. We talked about this last week. Tamara sort of, like, she layers in the stuff, and then she's going to, like, come really hard at Jen very soon.
Right. And she's like, yeah, this girl that I slept with, that's the girl that he used to sleep with. I was like, oh, no, it wasn't a stranger. It's like the way she says it is so like, ew, and she's already been used. It's like, he slept with her once already. Gross, bitch. It's like, why are you being mean about that? Isn't it less whorish if you just go back to the old neighborhood?
Yeah. So Heather then says, well, he told you he's a cheater and people tell you who they are, so you got to listen. A wise woman once said that, and that wise woman was me, actually. I decided it was me. I've invented that phrase. It'll be
yeah, okay, Maya Claw-Handley. Like,
Maya Angelou was a huge fan of That's Life. She actually really, really rallied for it to get a second season, and they unfortunately did not listen to her.
Reba Angelou once said, people tell you who they are, honey, and you gotta listen. She only said it with half of her mouth, but she still said it, and I'll never forget it.
It was a piece of wisdom that I came up with on my one episode TV show. It was a pilot, really, called Thoughts in Cleveland. It was trying to be more of a thinking version of that show, but it didn't really take off.
So Tamara's like,
I guess people can change, but if you're no cheater, chances are you're not gonna change much. And you're right. Take your time. Just have sex, as if it works out good, right? It's not gonna work out. Spoiler alert, it's not gonna work out. I'm not gonna let it.
So now we go over to Ryan's house. And by the way, there's so many Ryans in this universe. Okay, this is like, Ryan is the Joe in New Jersey for Orange County. Ryan is the New Jersey Joe for Orange County.
Ryan is like the plastic blonde weave of names in this town for men.
So Jen is like, oh my gosh, why do you look like that, Ryan? He's like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Why do you do it like that? Oh, Ryan. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's your favorite,
like that, Ryan.
It's Ben's favorite. Ben loves these scenes where they try and make it sound like they're having sex, and then it turns out they're doing something silly. It's Ben's favorite kind of scene.
Because they are literally never having sex. We know they're not having sex because it's a TV show. So we know we're not going to like bust in on them just like doing it.
Thank
so
God.
why even bother?
Yeah, no one needs to see Jen and Ryan banging. By the way, I just saw something, and I'm sorry to do this, everybody. Sorry to the gentleman involved in this next statement. Sorry really to everybody in life that I've ever met, especially Robert Goulet and Norb Jorder, who I just totally threw under the bus earlier in the set, and even Richard Simmons. I'm sorry to you too. No. But once you see this, you're not going to unsee it. Ryan has Paul Nassif's face there. I said it. Now go back, look closely,
Ryan
and then
does?
tell me. Yeah, Paul, he looks just like Ryan Nassif to me. Like in shape, slightly younger Paul Nassif.
I'm gonna need to see a side by side. Okay, now I gotta look at Paul Nassif.
I can't unsee it. And it's not gross or anything. It's just,
I just want to hear Adrian being like, you fucking idiot, Paul.
I don't know. Like maybe. I don't know. I have a hard time with that. I don't know. But you know what's crazy is that I just clicked on Dr. Nassif's Instagram, and he has a picture up with his son, and his son looks just like him, which is
does
crazy.
his son look like Ryan?
A little bit like Ryan, so I guess there's some truth in what you're saying.
I think you need to see the bigger picture. You need to like, oh my God, Paul Nassif's Instagram. Jesus Christ, it's just chins and you know, dangling waddles. Whoa, can I just say he does a really good job with the dangling waddle. Okay, gotta go.
You know, I have
vacation starting now. See ya.
I actually have a very big hot take about one person on Bravo looking like another person on Bravo that's on Dancing Queens, and I was going to save it for Dancing Queens, but maybe should I just say it here since we're talking about it now?
Well, I would hate for you to say it here and then say it on Dancing Queens because we don't ever repeat ourselves. So go ahead.
My hot take is that I feel like Sabrina on Dancing Queens looks like Reza.
What? Okay, now I've been going crazy with this Paul Nassif one, but that's literally bonkers. Are you still on Paul Nassif's Instagram, by the way?
No, I'm not. You want me to go back to it?
Because I think he's giving a little girl a boob job. I'm not sure, but there is a very little girl, maybe 4 years old. Get away from Dr. Nassif. Nothing. She's going to come out of there with gigantic lips like this big. Get out of that office, ma'am.
I am trying to look up Ryan, the new Ryan. But the problem is, it's when you type in Ryan Real Houses of Orange County, you get like 45 different people, and I don't know how to look them up. Jennifer Petranti, is that her name? Jennifer.
I don't know.
Her last name is Petranti. Would never have expected that.
Me neither. Okay. I will keep an eye out for the Sabrina thing because
Listen,
I'm dying to see.
And I'm very open to Ryan and Paul. I need to have a visual.
You're totally close to it.
I was close
You
at
said
first.
no. You called me stupid. Ben just sent me a text that said, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot." I'm glad I don't have to talk to you for a week.
Your brand. Let me give you a real lookalike, Sabrina and Reza. No, I'm open. I'm open.
You're like every marriage in Orange County. Yeah, I love a lookalike too.
I'm like Maria and Robert's relationship in Tustin.
It's funny. Okay, so let's go over
So
to their fake
Farragon.
sex scene, and they're talking about like, oh my God, the relationship's so strong, and she's going on the girl trip, and she's like, but you know, there's a stigma because you know, like we cheated, and now everybody's judging us, and I just want to make sure, you know, we don't talk about this, but you know, I want to make sure, like, even though you cheated on everybody, you're not going to cheat on me because I don't want to be the product of another failed relationship. You know, I'm like, well, then maybe don't cheat. And also maybe don't be with the cheater.
Don't do it with a guy who literally said I'm a cheater. He's already put in a formal request for his get out of jail free card, so that way when he cheats he goes, but I'm a cheater.
That's true. And we know it from multiple fuckboys on Bravo and in our real lives. We've learned what this means. When a man is completely honest with you like this, and they're like, I've cheated on everybody in my life, and you know what? I want to be different. It's so that when they cheat on you, they can say, you knew who I was.
Yeah.
I told you. I Reba Angelu'd you, and you still dated me.
Yeah, when a guy says I'm a cheater, I own it. I'm a cheater. That's his way of of then being able to use, that's his way of starting the formal process of being able to tell you later on, or being able to tell himself, it's okay that I cheated because I was honest with her. And if, you know, and I was,
and honesty is important. People get very moralistic when they're doing very immoral things like cheating. They'll like pull up other moral things that they're doing right. Like, well, I can't lie to you. Really? You cheated. That's worse than lying, sir.
They also
do no, but I'm an honest person. Okay, I'm an honest cheater.
They also do the Love Island thing, which is that they say, well, it was a test. I needed to see how much I really liked you by sleeping with someone else to know, like, that way I could see that it didn't really mean anything, which meant that what I feel with you is actually more real. So that's all. It was basically, it was just a test.
Oh, God. You know what's a good test? Threesomes. That's the Orange County way. Just audition people together. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it's so hard to have like a throuple relationship and not just a threesome, because there's always one person that can be better in a throuple, you know? Whereas I think if you're a couple and then you're having sex with like one other person, it's kind of like a constant open call where you're reminding each other, I'm with you because I choose to, but I could also go with this chorus boy, you know, who's promising. You know, frankly, or you could go with this chorus boy who's promising. So maybe we should just keep being nice to each other.
Yeah, it's called a drama triangle, not a drama duo. So yeah, I would say that's, yeah. And so
I think we solved a lot here today.
You know what? I think we have solved a lot. So I think we're kind of, our show may actually just be done. We may not.
We're basically done, guys. Puzzle box solved.
So Ryan goes, he's like, yeah, I don't want to be in another failed relationship either. But guess what? We're 2 years in. This isn't new. It only gets better. I'm like, you're 2 years into a relationship that started in the pandemic when people were mainly staying indoors, except maybe in Orange County where they were like, COVID's over on like April 2020. But
also 2 years is new.
2 years is new. With a cheater, 2 years is like, yeah. You need to be able to last longer than a car lease. And then you're like, no.
Yeah, exactly. I think the car lease is a good rule. I'm sorry to interrupt you with the but I just thought of something.
Like 10 times.
Okay. He's saying we're 2 years in and it's not new. It only gets better. But she just told us in the last scene, in that 2 years, you've already taken a break and cheated on her. So no, you haven't had 2 years. You fucking liar. So then they go fuck. So, I mean, listen, if you're into like worked out Paul Nassif, you do you, okay?
She goes, I feel like my relationship with Ryan checks all the boxes. I'm so emotionally connected to this man, you know, so for the whole world to think I left my marriage to like fuck in every backseat and every corner, you couldn't be more wrong. I fucked in specific backseats and specific corners.
Yeah, just, you know, I think this is a case where you just need to Marge it up. This is like, you need the Marge Joseph spin doctors to come in here. I cheated. I don't regret it. It was great. Loved it. Fuck the plumber. Best thing I ever did.
Every dog has his day. Every dog has his way. Mom, it's my birthday. Would you say? Sorry, just doing Jen singing Dave Matthews. With wrong lyrics, I'd like to add, which is kind of my thing.
I'm glad you explained that because I was just smiling like, oh, I'm going to look so stupid if I don't just go along with this. I don't know what he's talking about.
So Ryan says, we should go to Vegas and elope. She's like, ha. So now we go to Heather packing. She's packing with her stylist, Nicholas. And she's like, so do I need shit kickers for this? And he's like, what are shit kickers? They're like, are you mean like old boots? Yeah, you know, like shit kickers or like turd bunglers or I don't know, buffalo wedgie employers. I don't know. What do you call these things?
Poop punchers. We have some poop punchers over here. He's like, please stop talking like that. It's disgusting. You're better than this, Heather. Also, every time they close up on Heather's house, they show a different angle. I just wrote hideous, hideous house. And then it's Heather's. Is this just the building for her bedroom? Because it's a different building than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, it might just be a different building on the estate.
Oh, by the way, hideous.
Speaking of houses, did you see that Joe Gorga finished the new facade on his terror home?
I did.
It does look better.
It looks a lot better, but they had to take off the entire roof to do it. They literally had to redo. They had to call in contractors who knew what they were doing. Because at first I thought, oh, they redid this home and it already had these fucked up roof lines. And that's why all of the triangles of the roofs were different shapes. I was like, surely they didn't do that. But then they were showing pictures of Melissa dancing around on the property while it was being built. No, Joe Gorka did those roofs that way. He was the one who did. He's terrible. So they actually had to hire a real construction crew to come in and redo the whole thing, and it looks a lot better.
They actually hired Terry Dubrow. They're like, this is the first time we've ever had a house unbotched. So Heather,
it's got great knockers. I'll tell you that. It's got 2 really big knockers.
Yeah. So Heather, the front stoop is now just a chin. So Heather is like, oh, well, I don't have old boots. I don't have these shit kickers or puddle punchers or whatever one calls them. But, you know, when you go fly fishing, don't you need rubber boots? So she comes out of her, like, one wing of her closet with, like, rubber Chanel boots. Like, Heather, you can't wear those, Heather.
She's so ridiculous with her rich shtick, you know? Like, meanwhile, Terry's out there with his Mama Elsa face probably fucking people, which we know now. Well, which we don't know. It's alleged. So then she's like, full disclosure, I don't wear jeans since the pandemic. I'm like, you're literally wearing jeans right now. Okay? You're wearing white jeans right now in this scene. Stupid.
Is she is this like a flex for her? I don't know, like, what brownie points you get for not wearing jeans when jeans are universally beloved, especially if you're going to like Montana and you're like proud that you don't wear jeans.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, she's a proud asshole. She's just a proud asshole. She always has been. That's her thing. So then she goes to talk to Terry about how sad she is about the kids leaving, the twins leaving. And she's like, oh my God, just not seeing them here, having dinner, which we do so often. Oh, do you remember all the times we had squash spaghetti? Those were fun. Or the, what else did Nick used to make? Gosh.
You know what's fun is that the lazy ganache. What was that? The layers of the food that's on top of the food with the cheese and the meats on the inside. Oh, great meals we have together.
Oh, lazy Ghana, what a good time. I just remember I would come home, I would take a golf cart to my bedroom, I would stop along, I would pass Nikki's room, say hi, I would pass Max's room, say hi. I would pass a poster of myself posing like this with my arms crossed sideways, winking with my mouth wide open, like... And then I would just think, wow, we had children. We did that, Terry.
And then we see footage of the kids going up to school. So we see Nikki driving up to LMU. And then we see Heather and Terry flying Max in a private plane to Tufts. Like, they're really not setting their children up for success. They think that they are 100% setting up their children for success. But Max didn't get to Tufts. And she's like, yeah, I just flew here on a private plane. And she's just going to not have any friends.
They're going to get bullied. Kids are going to hate them. And I'm with them. I'm with the kids. I'm with the bullies on this one. So Terry's like, basically, this is the beginning of the end of our lives that we're embarking on. And she's like, but what about my career? You know, because I gave up my life for this. Well, you know, I mean, this is my life, but my personal dreams and goals in life, you know, I mean, time is looming. Is it too late for me? Heather, it was never time for you. Why are we pretending that you had some career that you're going to be... There's no in memoriam that you're going to be on. You know what I mean? Unless they come out at the Crappies, you will be. Actually, you've already been on an in memoriam.
Yeah.
It was at the Crappy Awards when you left the show the first time. So congratulations. You're going to be in 2 in memoriams, and it's going to be the second time you get fired from this show. Okay?
She's just acting like she's like Eva Mendes, this like actress who was just like on top of everyone's minds and then sort of went away to take care of herself and have a family. And we're just like waiting for Eva Mendes to come back. But it's like, no, you're just.
Are we? Hold on a minute.
Are we? I'm sure people are waiting for it. I think everyone would like Eva Mendes. Everyone likes. I mean, Eva Mendes was nice. People like Eva Mendes.
I mean,
she certainly had a lot more appeal than Heather Dubrow.
I don't hate her. I just don't remember being like, oh my God, where did Eva Mendes go?
No, I don't necessarily feel that on a daily basis, but I think I saw a picture of her recently where I was like, oh yeah, Eva Mendes.
So her thing was The Place Beyond the Pines? Did she just take that literally? She's like,
I
really
she was
like
in a lot
it
of
here.
things.
No,
But I
I
think
know,
that
but that was
she
her
was-
last
I think-
thing in 2012 was
Oh wow!
A Place
I think
Beyond
she
the
had
Pines.
to go. I think she had to go to rehab, but then I think she also started a family. And right now, as we speak, she may be saying, "I gave up everything for this family, and I think I have to move back to Los Angeles."
Will Reba still remember my name? Yeah, I don't mean to diss Eva Mendes. I was just like,
Or Eva. I've been calling her Eva.
I was like, am I supposed to be missing? I don't know. I think of Eva because who cares? Why are we talking
I have
about
seen
this?
movies with Eva Mendes. I have enjoyed movies with Eva Mendes, and you, Heather Dubrow, are no Eva Mendes.
That's the point. Okay, you're not even that chick from Desperate Housewives who was also on Lois and Clark, Terry Hatcher. You're not even Terry Hatcher. Okay, who actually had a great career. Why did I just
Hatcher.
diss Terry Hatcher?
Terry Hatcher has a better career than people realize.
Heather, nobody knows you. Nobody cares. Okay, you've
But
been
by
on
the
one
way,
thing.
I'm open to Heather being on like a sitcom. I feel
I'm
like
not.
I feel like I can see her being a mom on a
Not me.
sitcom.
No.
You know, because she sort of acts like that anyway.
Look at me with the dumb fat guy. You know, she's going to be that kind of sitcom wife. He's like with a,
Yeah.
it's like they've got a really skinny kind of, well, she's
always doing the thing at the end of sitcoms where the mom and the dad sit down on a couch and she blows her bangs up in her hair. Goes, well, I guess we learned something about doing something about this family. You can never just assume that everything's going to be normal. And then like it freezes and the credits roll.
yeah. So she's trying to have this crying scene because, she is trying to get her acting career back. And she's like, my dreams. Oh my God. What about my dreams and my goals? Have I given it all up for being a mother, Terry? That's what I want to move back to LA for. I want to move to a $50 million apartment to just be one of the people. Terry, you know what I mean? And he's like, plus the restaurants are much better up there. Am I right?
I am going to find a sound effect of like an audience laughing and then music playing as we cut to commercial, because that really was like a sitcom cue for the end of Act 1 of a sitcom, right? Like
It
cut to
was.
commercial break.
But God, Heather hates him right now. She's like, I have one scene where I try to convince people I have emotions, Terry.
She's like, all I want is to be on a television show with Ray Romano where we have children. That's all I want. So now let's go to Rancho Capistrano Winery, shall we? Tamara has entered and she sits down. And while she waits for someone to join her, she tells the waitress, can we do a bottle of my opinion? I'm like, no, please.
Is that her wine?
It must be. It's got to be.
Wine. It's just my opinion. Hold on. Wine. It's just my opinion. What's your opinion?
I think it's
of wine?
called I think it's just called My Opinion.
My opinion. Wine. Right. Wine. Yeah, I don't see. Oh, Shop Rancho Capistrano Winery. So this place has its own winery, and I guess that because that's what the restaurant's called, and I guess that's since Tamara goes there, they have a wine called That's My Opinion. I don't know. Who knows? So anyway, Taylor comes in, and Taylor's like, "Oh my God, look at you, sexy."
Yeah. And then Tamara's like, I can't tell you how excited I am to go to Montana, bitch. And then the wine arrives, and Taylor's like, well, it's been a little bit awkward because we had an issue with the cast with Masterpiece, that's the name of the movie, where we had an actor drop out, and I said, Heather, here, there's the role, and why don't you take it? And so she said, I'm in. And then she came for the acting class, and I had printed a script, and I spiral bound it and put ribbons on it and did a magic marker that said for my new BFF on the front. And then she was like, oh, you're cute. Like, oh, you're cute. Like that. It was sort of awkward.
Acting like, what a little movie. Congrats on your little movie. Yeah. So I started joking, because when I feel insecure, I just start joking. And I was like, you're coming to Oklahoma with me, Missy, because I'm going to look like an idiot to these directors. You already do. You said yes, and you would probably fly yourself and put yourself up at the Hyatt place. No one is buying this.
Yeah, sorry that like Sharknado 45 it does not have its appeal to Heather Dubrow. So Tamara's like, Heather has a way of talking to you that makes you feel belittled. And Taylor says,
Tamara saying that, which I love, because Tamara's not incorrect, but Tamara's way of speaking to you is like,
No one likes you, you stupid bitch.
I know. So Taylor's like, so then she left, and then she left the table. She left the script on the table. Can you believe? I mean, I felt a little awkward. So we see 1 week ago where Taylor goes like, "Hey Heather, don't forget your script. You're gonna need it." And Heather goes, "You know what? Just in case you need to do some scene work with someone, I'm gonna leave it here for you. You don't know what scene work is? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna let you look that up on Wikipedia. You don't know what Wikipedia is either. Okay." All right, well, good luck with this movie. Good luck.
Heather is an asshole, and she did treat her like shit. But, welcome to Heather.
I loved it.
And so Taylor's like, I mean, just take the fucking script. I mean, isn't that what actors do? No, it's not. It's not what actors do, okay? And so then we see Taylor's confessional. Is this her first confessional? Because holy crap.
For the season, yeah.
Are they trying to make Gina look middle class? Because, wow. Okay, so Taylor is sitting in front of her House of Brown and old chandelier thing in the background that needs to be dusted. I mean, this whole place looks, it's a fixer-upper. Let's just say that. She's sitting in a blue velvet pantsuit with a kind of wraparound top that goes around her neck and has 2 cutouts and then little tiny pearls all. What the fuck? This is a lot. This is one of the worst outfits I've ever seen on a Real Housewives show. Well done. Taylor fits in great on Orange County.
I know. I don't know why she's not full time. So Taylor says, I'm not angry at Heather. I mean, I'm not pissed off. I mean, my feelings are hurt. I mean, it's my first movie role, and now she's acting like whatever. I'm like, because like it literally is a whatever. I mean, you have no acting experience, and you're blindly cast in the movie. I don't think anyone's gonna take that seriously.
Yeah. And so she goes, well, I thought she already thought she had this big, long acting career, but I told the director to look her up, and he looked up her IMDb, and he said, well, actually, the production company wants a casting tape from her, so go ahead and pull it up so you can see her IMDb, too. Surely you're not going to use this against me in about 10 minutes. So.
Right. And I didn't think this was going to be used against her. I thought this was just like a silly scene, right? So Tamara's like, okay, all right. So, okay, are these all the ones she's done, this tiny IMDb? And Tamara, they're like looking at it. They're like, is this as far as the screen scrolls? I mean, I feel like I'm Alexia. It's like, not a lot of movement here on the screen, not a lot of credits, So they're looking.
This is embarrassing. This is bad. It's not embarrassing that you did work. That's great. But it's a long time ago. And of course, Heather's going to turn it like, but it's because I was a mother. And, like she does. She has a big monologue against Taylor later where she tries to like shame Taylor for being a woman hater or whatever.
It's a great monologue.
But, she's going to try to do that, but it's not like this was like The Lead in Ruthless People. You know what I mean? Or my references, I'm sorry. I don't know where I am anymore. But it's not like it was this great career. This is what it was. An episode of Stark Raven in 1995. Hawaii Five-0, 1 episode. Young and Hungry. I don't know what that is.
I'm on Young and Hungry right now, and the cast is like, it's like Emily Osment, Brian Safi is in it.
Wait, that's something that's on right now?
Is it on right now? I don't think it's on anymore. It's on like ABC Family. It was on from 2014 to 2018. Yeah.
I'm looking up Heather Dubrow's IMDb.
It's no longer hungry. Betty White did 2 episodes. I'm not saying this to say that actually it's pretty cool.
So 1 episode, right. Okay. So then she was in something called Sequestered for 12 episodes in 2014. What's this? She played Marissa.
She is basically doing like 1 or 2 episode stints. She had That's Life, where she played Lydia DeLuca when she was Heather Page Kent. That was, she did that for 36 episodes, which means it got a season and a half, by the way.
Listen, she's been a working actress in a lot of little things, and there's nothing to cry about or be embarrassed about with it, but there's also nothing to brag about. You know what I mean?
There's you go.
Like literally nothing to brag about. The end. Okay.
Oh my God, she was on Baby Talk. I remember that show. I used to love that show when I was a kid. Remember that show?
I will not talk to babies.
That is in my contract. I want CGI babies. Like, ma'am, you're only going to be here for 5 minutes. So
this half-hour situation comedy featured the adventures of baby Mickey being raised by Maggie, a single mother, starting her life over in the city. God, and I think that it was like Look Who's Talking, and it was like Tony Danza was the voice of the baby. It's kind of an amazing. Julia Duffy. I remember Julia Duffy was in it. I think Julia
God,
Duffy
I loved her. She was great.
Julia Duffy took over as the lead.
That's my kind of girl, Julia Duffy, right there. I loved every role she ever played.
Now, why is she not on the Real Housewives? What is Julia Duffy?
Because she was an actual working. She's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm Julia Duffy. She can act like that. So then we go
Julia
back
Duffy,
to
that is an actress right there. Okay.
Yeah, she's great. She's got a great career. Okay, so then we go back to Heather. The Heather conversation, and Tamara's like,
Oh, Malibu Country's on here. We all remember that one, bitch.
and then we see a clip of Heather, of all the housewives at that time, on a party bus, and Heather going,
Oh, girls, I've got news. I have booked a job on a sitcom called Malibu Country.
And Tamara's like,
oh yeah, Gretchen got an offer for that too. Back Gretchen.
And then Alexis is like, yeah, they called my publicist too.
And Heather goes, it's a different part. It's a different part. It's a different part. I forgot that Alexis Bellino was even offered that too. Oh,
and then it cuts to Tamara going,
I was offered that part too, bitch.
Which is new information because Tamara was Team Heather back then. So now Tamara's like, yeah. Literally everybody was offered that part. It was a Real Housewives stunt casting role, you know?
Speaking of stunt casting, let's never forget the season where they had Alexis Bellino try out to be like an anchor woman on like the local Fox News, because that was truly one of the funniest fake storylines of all time. Like that was one, like it was totally fake, but in execution, it was just brilliant. So why don't we get more, like, as long as they're going to repeat storylines, because they always repeat storylines. You know, we always have the, like, maybe I'm going to have a baby or something like that. Why don't we have a repeat of the I want to be a news anchor? Because it was really great.
No one can do it like Alexis. She's like the Julia Duffy of the show. When she's like, yeah, and then there was a fire in the building. Oh my God, I hope they're okay.
They saved the baby, though. Oh, thank God.
All right.
So Tamara, so the food arrives, and Heather has not reached out to Taylor. And Tamara thinks that Taylor should talk to Heather about this whole situation. And Taylor's like, but does she think, like, if I'm going to get cast, that she's, like, too good to get cast in it? Does she think that, like, Oklahoma is a honky-tonk movie town? Like, is it because she doesn't have the time? And Tamara says what we all are saying. It's all of the above. Yes. You answered the question, Taylor. That's exactly it.
Yes, Taylor. She thinks you're a cheese ball. No one in their right mind would put you in a movie. And that if they did put you in a movie and you're probably paying for your own Hyatt Place in Oklahoma, that it's a ratchet movie. Yes, that is what she's thinking. And that's why she doesn't want to do it. And yes, you being in it does make it less of a desirable movie to be in. Okay. Yeah. Just like Eva Mendes would make it more desirable. Do you understand? Okay. Little side of Julia Duffy would make a contract signing moment.
If a producer goes up to Julia Roberts and says, we got this great movie. We just signed Julia Duffy as one of the principals. Would you like to join? Julia Roberts is going to say no. Okay. Which is really not smart of her, because she should say yes. But that's a different story. Different thing
it
to talk
sure
about.
Is. It's a different subject altogether.
It's a different subject.
So then we go to everybody getting ready for the trip. So Shannon is getting ready with her girls and threatening to put cameras in the house because they're pretending they're not going to have parties. But they're all looking at each other like, we're not having parties, right, guys? So they're obviously going to be partying their fucking faces off. And good for them. Who doesn't want to party in a house based off of a seafood restaurant? I want to go there.
Wait, what? A house based on seafood? Red Lobster?
Yeah, because, Shannon's like, I'm nautical. It's like there's like little portholes and stuff. If you look around the house, it looks like it's farmhouse chic, but it's like
boats.
Yeah, it's like farmhouse, but also like Long John Silver's kind of vibes going on in the house. There's a lot of porthole art.
The good news for Shannon is that she doesn't keep any booze in that household. So anyway, she's just joking with him. Yeah, like,
I'm gonna put cameras up.
and then we go to Gina trying on clothes for her room, and she nearly trips trying to access some of her clothing that's like high up, like it's in that, because she basically has such limited storage space that she has to like keep things in like a crawl space that's like above her closet or something like that. So she's trying to get a stool, she can't, or a chair to reach it. And then we see Tamara packing, and Eddie walks in with like a birthday present. It's a bag from Louis Vuitton, and Tamara's like, "Oh my God, Batch, did you get these at Costco?" He's like, "Yeah, I got these at Costco." As they continue their sitcom life.
Yeah.
Is my mom making out with that guy who looks like Bert from Bert and Ernie?
So, by the way, these are the ugliest Louis Vuitton shoes I've ever seen. And Louis has done some pretty ugly things, but these are Doc Marten style.
They're like 1994 grunge era.
Ugly.
Like,
so then we go to the airport and everyone's gathering, and someone is asking about Emily. Well, Emily can't show up, and she did a video to tell everybody, because we all love that, don't we? When instead of friends just text, "I got COVID, I can't come," they force the entire group to watch literally 7 minutes of Emily talking about how no one cares, Emily. No one can watch that long of a scene of you on the show. We're certainly not going to do it on the iMessage. Okay? FF. Bye.
Does Emily wear a wig? Because if she does, it looked to me like her wig was falling off. And now there's no shame in that, but I just was tickled because I felt like I saw the hair from underneath the wig sort of like poking out, and her wig was all the way back. And
I don't know, but she better get it glued on so she can continue trying to sell Shane Face to the country.
Fix your wig before you do the video. So then, and then Heather is now saying, everyone's talking about how they're not nature people, you know, and Heather's like, "No one would describe me as country, but one of my favorite shows growing up was That's Life, starring me. I mean, I just loved my own show. It was great work. But I also really enjoyed Little House on the Prairie, or as Gina calls it, House on the Prairie. So maybe with the right hair and hairstyle and some cute boots, I could do it. I could be in the country."
Heather. So then we go to Gina being mad because she has to go on this trip without my vacation wife. Like, who am I gonna spoon with? So Jen's like, "I've never been to a dude ranch or been on a horse before," and Tamara's like,
But you're from Oklahoma. What else you do there?
she's like, "We ride cowboys there." She's like,
Oh my God, I can't ride a cowboy because I might get in trouble.
Unlike you cheating bitch. Ha!
So now they land. When we see footage of the plane landing, and Shannon is like in full like bug eye mode. She's like,
Wow. That was quite the landing.
like, what sort of turbulence did you just go through?
there is a certain way to land in Missoula. I don't think it's ever smooth because I've been to Missoula. That's where one of my best friends moved. So I've been there. Love Missoula. Great little town. But there's something about going in there that it's like, we're in the country now, you know, and they like beat you over the head with it everywhere you go. They're like, this is the country. So as you land, I think they're like, shake the plane. So they know they're coming into the country and they're lucky to be alive. And the plane's like,
It's Kevin Costner blowing air cannons.
yeah, they're like playing the sound effect, like, just so you know where you're entering. Just got to keep it real, you know. By the time you land, the plane is just a giant covered wagon.
I love Missoula. It's one of my favorite things that Alfredo makes us for dinner. So the women are getting their bags at baggage claim, and then Jason, the ranch manager, picks them up. They get in the SUVs and everything.
And Shannon's like,
whoa, Jason, this bag is mucho heavy-o.
I was like,
You're in Montana.
you're not in Cabo.
And then they're driving by, and they're looking at the landscape, and there's like a pond, and Heather goes, is that a little pond? Like, wow, your powers of observation are really unparalleled there, Heather.
So let's see. We go to the Alpine Ranch, and Jason's like, we got everything here. Elk, moose, bear, koi fish.
A natural species to Montana, koi fish.
I know, right? Do you have a Home Goods? Then no, you don't have everything here. Who says that? We have everything here. Elk,
Where's Melissa
moose.
Gilbert? because I love Little House on the Prairie.
I gotcha. So they get to the house, and Gina's like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And they have a bunkhouse and then a villa house. And Heather's like, I feel like I'm a villa person.
You don't say. Heather's like, this is not one of the moments when I'm going to pretend to be of the people. Put me in the villa. Thank you.
Yeah. So then they see they have a lantern in the bunkhouse where there's like guns in the lantern. And Jen's like, if you don't behave in this villa, I'm going to shoot you in the eyes. Taylor's like, all I need is a New Yorker with a gun. God, don't give that to Emily. So Shannon walks into the kitchen of this bunkhouse and she goes, whoa, this kitchen is too small for me to cook in. I'm not going to be cooking in here. Oh no, I need a bigger... Why are we pretending that Shannon's like some amazing chef? I mean, I know that we've been doing that ever since she started her Real for Real, but no one's buying your Pioneer Town bullshit, Shannon. Okay, keep your fucking chicken day to yourself. Okay, no one needs your cooking here. We're in Pioneer Town.
I wonder if she has like an evening where she's like,
Well, I'm going to be showing off some new recipes from Real for Real, but this kitchen's just a little bit too small for me to roast some salmon and stuff it with cream cheese, so we're going to stay at the villa.
100%.
Gina is like,
Well, you know what? Like, maybe if I room with Jen, I'll get to know her better and get over some of these negative feelings I'm having towards her.
I'm like, yeah, that's probably the way you should do it. And they already have like laundries running in the bunkhouse already. They're just already like cleaning their robes or whatever. So
It's their bath rugs, which I think is funny because that is very Gina, you know. So then Tamara's like,
Oh my God, hurry! Get us away from this bunkhouse before someone tries to make us stay here, driver!
and Shannon's like, do not
Stop, that's mean, Tamara. And she's like, well, do you want to stay in there?
And she's like, no, that kitchen is way too tiny. I need to have a large kitchen because I am a culinary genius. And Heather's like,
Come on, let's go to the villa.
So they drive up to the villa, and then we have like just like some little things, standard vacation things where people FaceTime home as if anyone cares. So Jen's like FaceTiming Ryan, and then the other girls are arriving at the villa, and Tamara's like, I feel like that we can stay here because it's big enough. It is actually kind of funny that they have to put several people down in this like tiny bunkhouse place when this is like an enormous villa. But I'm just going to assume that some of those rooms were where producers were staying in. That's my theory.
Or maybe that was just like a 3-bedroom. Who knows? I don't know. What? I don't know. But I will tell you this. Shannon's like, well, I've got a griddle in this kitchen. That's me, Shannon Storms Griddles Bador. And so they go on a tour of all these rooms, and Shannon starts getting really moody, as Shannon does. She's like pissed off about something. And it's like, oh, well, there's a griddle. Whew. But this bedroom has a lot of windows in it. I don't know if I'm really up to that. And this bed is a little... None of the 3 bears would have liked that. Well, is that a rug on the floor? I don't know. I don't know what kind of vacation this is.
Well, look, Batch, that's a view overlooking the lake. Oh, well, that's pretty. Is there Zika virus in that lake? You know, if I decide to have another child, this could be an issue.
And Tamara's like,
Oh my God, there's fun Shannon, there's sad Shannon, and there's vacation Shannon.
she's like, wow, Zika virus. That sounds fun. Ah, gosh. So in this kitchen, am I going to be cooking chicken, or are we all going to be cooking chicken pox? Because this place looks disgusting.
Does anyone know if you're still able to have a sense of taste after you contract Zika virus in your bedroom? Huh?
So Taylor's like, I'm really worried about the room you guys want to put me in because that's old glass windows and Mama's got some hormone issues going on here. So I think I'm going to go stay at the poor people house. I just feel more comfortable there. I feel like they'd be more into velvet jumpsuits with tiny little fake pearls glued to them. So bye. See you later.
And the other thing is my character is someone who overheats a lot. So I heard about this thing called method. So I'm just really going to work on it by being in the bunkhouse. So she moves down there, and Heather goes, Shannon, are you ready? And Shannon's like, so you guys, I'm sorry. Because it's time to go do their first activity. And Shannon's like, I'm sorry. I have not put on my makeup. Okay, I will have to meet you there. And I don't want to meet you there, but I haven't touched up my makeup. And is my makeup done? No. Will I have it done in time? No.
Well,
There's only so much one person could do. I've come into the home. I went to that home. I went to this home. I've seen a kitchen that was too small. I saw a griddle, which frankly, frankly, was a bit of a challenge to me. And I just felt a little challenged by that griddle the moment I walked in here. Have I had time to do my makeup? No, I have not. So I'm sorry. Oh, I can only do one thing at a time.
Jesus Christ. Well, fine. It'll be fine.
So then Tamara and Heather just like leave, and they have to take like kind of like a buggy kind of thing, like a
four-wheeler.
Forest. It's like a four-wheeler. It's like camouflage, just in case they need to sneak around in the woods.
In case you need to kill an elk. What do you think people go there for? He's like, we got everything here. You can shoot an elk, you can shoot a deer, you can shoot a koi fish, whatever you fucking want to.
So Heather's like, do not roll this, Tamara. Tamara's like,
You just crashed one time and people don't let you forget it, bitch.
so then, of course, they show the footage of her rolling down the dunes in Glamis, which they'll always pull that one out whenever they can. And they don't get to pull it out very often.
That was very bad, too.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it's not just like a... you expect it on Real Housewives just to be like, it falls over. And they're like, a Tamara. But this was like, yikes. It's like, roll, 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 roll.
So,
crash into an elk, be kicked up into the sky, be eaten by a whale, be spit out, be kicked in the ass by a koi fish. Roll, 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 roll. Car starts on fire. It's like, geez.
Yeah. So they arrive at a mechanical bull. And Gina's like, oh my God, this is a real piss by a tree kind of place. He goes, it's a what? What is that? Excuse me?
I love that there's a big long pause. And Heather's like, what?
Piss by a tree.
Tamara's like,
Oh my God, the mechanical ball, the spick-spock memories.
and then we see the moment where Heather had her groundbreaking party on her mall house and had a mechanical bull there and whispered to the guy to make it go really fast for Tamara. And then Tamara broke something. And she's like,
I broke a bed.
like it throws her off and she broke something.
So she goes,
I think I tore my vagina.
so, because now they're doing it. And then, so Heather gets on the bull. And I said she refuses. Okay, I don't know what that is. That's a general note for Heather. I refuse. And then Jen goes on. There's like, people go on and they fall off. They go on, fall off. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it was Heather doesn't get on the bull. She refuses to get on the bull, of course. So, by the way, this whole scene is kind of beautiful because it's like sunset, so all the light is kind of golden and coming through the trees and there's shadows. I was like, this moment has no right to be as beautiful on screen as it is right now.
And then Shannon's like,
Well, I can't do this. I have a bony vagina. And,
it's because Tamara's like,
what's wrong with her vagina? Is it too meaty? Because I actually have a surgery for that.
and she's like,
No, it's bony. It's not just a lot of skin. I feel it all in my bones.
and so Tamara does it again, and then she falls down again, and Shannon goes,
Hold down.
So now dinner is ready. They've set up like a whole kind of like a spread on a table out there. Lots of beef, lots of big cuts of beef. And Heather goes up. There's a pile of sausages. And Heather goes up and goes, is this a hot dog or is it a sausage? I need to know just how down to earth I should be at this moment.
So they eat and make dense wiener jokes. And Gina's like, this is a dense wiener. And Tamara's like,
Are you sharing a wiener?
and Gina's like, yeah.
Me and Jen got real close. We're close enough now to share wieners.
And Tamara is like, and then when Gina tells us, I'll be honest, from what I hear about Ryan, this isn't Jen's first time sharing wieners. So then Tamara is like, so, Jen and Taylor, since some of the girls here don't know you very well, tell us something we don't know about you so I could use it against you later. So Taylor's like, well, people may not know this. I'm bisexual. And everyone's like, what? She's like, yeah. She's like, well, are you nervous about being around me in the bunkhouse now, Jen? So Tamara's like, well, I know this is not a shock. This isn't a shock to me because I know Taylor so much already. Yeah, that was a flex. But you had like a full-blown relationship with a woman, didn't you? And it turns out Taylor did have a relationship for 5 years before Russell with a woman, which if we learned that, I had totally forgotten about it.
No, something new to us. She just said it's something new. Ben.
Look at that.
It's new. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you for sharing. Who's next? So next up is Jen. Jen's like, well, you guys may not have known this about me, but I was a flight attendant. And Gina's like, oh my God, I was too. It's like, oh, spirit. Spirit.
Also, I feel like 100%. That secret's not
100%.
as good as Taylor's secret. Taylor's like, I am a bisexual and I was in a relationship with a woman. Also, my husband looks like Rosie O'Donnell, so that explains a lot of things, right? And then Jen's like, I was a flight attendant. It's like, not as good. But then she does go on and say that she met her first husband on a flight. And then Gina's like, was he in first class? She's like, no, he was in economy. But he went to law school and he graduated law school. He went to like Georgetown. Jen's like,
Oh, Georgetown. Oh, that's a very nice. No USC, but it's very good. Very good.
And Gina's like, oh my God, give me more of this, Jen. Because, if we hadn't started where we started, we could have started more on common ground like this. I was like, what are you talking about? She's mentioning a past job. You started on a bad ground because you judged her immediately, Gina.
Yeah.
I'm like,
how about you ask her questions about herself and maybe you can get this, quote unquote, this Jen. You just have to ask questions. Who are you?
She's
Where are you
literally
from?
just telling you facts about herself. So Shannon's like, well,
I'll be right back. I've just got to say something real quick. Is that John? Is that John? Okay, that's what you guys didn't know about me. Now, I will be right back because my person who is supposed to watch my kids did not show up.
and Tamara's like,
Your kids are 18. With John.
she's like,
I don't think that's him over there. I think that's actually a koi fish. Hi, koi fish. John loves koi fish. Okay. Well, I'm going to go. The babysitter's not there.
I'm not. This is not an obvious excuse for me to go and change into a wacky costume. It's just John. There's one of my twins lost both their arms suddenly, so they just fell off in the living room. So I have to go. I have to go do this. Bye, everyone.
So, but they don't know that she's just coming up with an excuse. So Tamara's like,
Wow, they've been together a long time. I mean, either you're in or you're not. Like, if you won't watch your kids, you're not in, bitch. Like, here it's John. Does anybody even know? Let's look up his social security number.
and Heather's like,
Maybe this means that he's not 100% in.
Yeah. You know what? If you were all in, you would say, this is what's going to happen next. This is what we've discussed. This is what roles I want in the reboot of my acting career. And this is what I want to happen. Okay? But that's not what Shannon's saying.
So Jen's like, well, I was shocked as shit, Tamara, that you're rooming with Shannon. I thought you guys were fighting. And Heather's like, it's a very large house. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just thinking back to Orange County. It's a hot dog. This is a hot dog.
Is this a hot dog? That is broccoli. Oh, got it. So Taylor's like, well, maybe their friendship is like either fucking or fighting. Am I right? And Tamara goes, well, we just have such a long ass history, bitch, that as friends, that, like, we're just like gonna be like, we're never gonna find a resolution about the past. So like, why not move on? Am I right? And Heather's like, yes. Time to move on. And by the way, is Shannon lost? Is she okay? Has she been mauled by a grizzly bear at this point? So then we cut to the saloon, and Shannon is now dressed like she's in a bordello.
Yes, she's like a showgirl or a hooker at a bordello. And Tamara's like,
I'm Fessa, and can we go to the salon?
and Gina's like,
Shannon.
and then we just hear wolves like, oh. I was like, please stop letting Gina scream out here. Every animal here just wants peace back. You know?
No. So they walk into the saloon and Shannon's there and she has like a tray of shots. She goes,
Well, I got some shots for some thirsty strangers. Come on in. Okay, I'm gonna put down this tray because I'm not very good with trays, so I'm just gonna put this here. You guys can all just serve yourselves.
And then we see 10 minutes earlier her trying to fill shot glasses, but they're all broken. So there's tequila all over the bar.
She's losing her mind because she knows she only has a limited amount of time. She's like,
This was broken too. What do I do? Oh, this is like my marriage to David. Broken.
So then Gina's like,
Oh my God, I'm just here for the taxidermy. I mean, top notch. Look at the beaver. It freaks me out. Oh my God, what is that, a turkey? Jeez, this is scary.
Gina is very excited at the thought that she could have a pet that she doesn't have to spend money on feeding. She's like, doesn't have any vet bills, don't have to feed it. You just put it in the living room and it's like a real pet.
So Shanna's like, whoa, Judge, what are you getting me into, girl? And so they do shots. And Tamara's like,
To a new beginning. To a new beginning. I'm happy. I'm happy too. So let's just start slow and trust each other. I love you.
and Shanna's like,
Oop. I love you too, Tamara. I love you too. We're back. We're back.
and she just lays down on the floor. She's like,
Walk all over me. Go ahead.
So then Heather's like, oh, so Taylor Armstrong, what's going on with your adorable student film? And Taylor's like, well, it's moving forward. I mean, I really wanted you to do it, but, well, we talked about it. I didn't think you were being serious. You know, the way you had your spiral bound script and a magic marker on it, the cover that said, my first movie script, you know, it was cute. It was very cute.
well, I didn't know if you didn't want to be in it because maybe you thought I was a rookie actress and you didn't want to attach your name to anything that I'm attached to.
Oh, are you kidding me? Listen, of course I felt that way, but I would never say that. I think this is a you issue, not a me issue, because I don't really feel that way. I don't feel like, oh, you're a rookie actress. I know that, so I don't have to feel that. So usually, if someone wants me to do something, someone would call. They would send the script. You know, there's a protocol for these things, okay? There's producers, there's directors, there's agents, okay? There's Reba McEntire. There's no Taylor Armstrong in Hollywood. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
And Taylor's like, okay, well, you have more experience than me, so I guess you should know. And Heather makes a face because she sees that Taylor is like being bitchy with her.
Yeah.
And Taylor's like, I mean, the thing is that they just lost an actress in a split second. And Heather's like, yes, but they didn't hire an actress because there are no rules and there's no understanding and there's no knowledge of when is it? What days are they? Am I available? You know, it's not your movie. Is this union? It's their craft services. You're not a producer. You're not the director. This is something you've built up in your head that has nothing to do with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? She just starts growing and her button eyes start turning black. Like smoke comes up behind her.
She's basically like, do not embroil me in the drama of your stupid movie. So Taylor's like, yeah, well, if they reached out to you and shared the script with you, would you do it? Heather goes, I would 100% read it.
Read it. I would read it.
If they reached out to me with that role, I would be all in on looking at the credits, people involved in it.
Yeah. And Taylor goes, well, I guess we'll just go from there then. Like she's pissed. And so Heather's telling us, I mean, I don't get it. If you're so hurt, then why do you want me in the movie, Taylor? And Taylor's like, we'll go from there. And Heather goes, well, are we actually good now, though? Or are you going to do this poor person extra background role under 5 kind of an attitude thing? Not saying anything because you're not paid for more than 5 lines in this scene.
And Taylor's like, no, we're good. So they have like sort of like an air kiss thing and it's all settled, but Tamara's not happy with that. Tamara knows that this could be a real fight. So she goes, hey, didn't you say the producer said she has to try out for it? And Taylor's like, yeah, I mean, they said they wanted to see a casting tape. And you didn't tell her that? And Taylor's like, no. But of course, Heather hears this. She goes, oh. And now her eyes are fully evil. She's like, are you serious? The director... She literally says this. The director wasn't impressed with my IMDb. Are you serious?
Wow, I can't believe a director didn't fall down after reading your IMDb, Heather. Crazy. And Heather goes, well, he said that she can send a casting tape. And Heather starts doing her like, anybody hearing this? Anybody hearing this?
So you mean that me, the person who is in hot in Cleveland, Malibu country, and a pilot called Now You Know, has to send in a casting tape?
So just for clarity, I was offered a role, then I turned down the role, but I was better than the role, but now I'm not good enough for the role, and still no one has reached out to me. So she's like, wait a minute. Okay, this is good. This is good, everybody. So your IMDb was good enough, but I have to send an audition tape.
Me, someone who did a guest appearance on Baby Talk with Julia Duffy. I have to send in a casting tape. And you've never even worked before, but I have. Okay, but you get a role. Okay. Like the combination of her sort of like spiraling, it's like she's spiraling in two directions. She's like spiraling upwards into rage, but also spiraling downwards into like frustration. It's kind of
pathetic.
amazing.
It is so funny. It's so pathetic.
It is
Watching
amazing.
someone with that IMDb get defensive is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. So Shannon's like, well,
I see both sides of this. Taylor doesn't understand how, casting for a film works, or really how cotton candy works, or God, watching her eat that wiener was really hard. But now that said, I don't think that Heather's reaction should have been that condescending, but we're familiar with that tone with Miss Heather Page Kent, aren't we?
You can just read my pursed lips. So Heather turns to the camera and she goes, so she got the offer, but I auditioned. I have to audition. And I'm not good enough. The person who actually lives in a movie soundstage is not good enough to film over in the Harris Theater of Oklahoma. And Taylor's like,
she pulls out your IMDb at lunch, because we went to lunch and then Taylor was like, oh my God, you want to see something stupid and gross? I'm going to put out Heather's IMDb.
wow. Okay, so you looked at my IMDb, and Taylor's like, yeah, you've done a lot of stuff. Well, you know what it's funny is we were just at the airport and we ran into Diane Ruggiero, who created That's Life. Then I started in CBS with Paul Sorvino and Ellen Burstyn. This is like she's literally saying this. She is literally saying this like... I was in a show 20 years ago with Paul Sorvino and Diane Ruggiero. It was a Diane Ruggiero joint, and I was the star of it.
Also, her whole thing is like, oh, really? He's not impressed with my IMDb. Everyone knows my IMDb is amazing, but then she's mad that someone read her IMDb at the same time.
I didn't
like she
understand
cannot
that part.
keep it together. And I don't even know that Diane Ruggiero was at the airport. I feel like Heather was like, hi, Diane. She created the sitcom I was on. Hi. Enjoy that Cinnabon. And Taylor goes, oh, yeah, I read about that one. So it was 22 episodes. Just, why are you saying it like that? Why are you saying it like that, 22 episodes?
No, that's a long run. 22 episodes is a lot. That's exciting, And so Gina, of course, weighs in. She's like,
this whole argument is like so absurd to me because Taylor acts like she's been so offended. Meanwhile, she hasn't been in a movie yet, and then Heather acts like Taylor just came in and took her Oscars away from her, like she's Judy fucking Dench. Like, come on, ladies.
And Taylor's like, I was confused because, why would they ask you to do a casting tape when you've done so much? That was just so much. Like, Taylor's trying to get out of it now, but she cannot get out of it.
No matter
because
what she
is
says.
Guilty. She is being shady,
But also, like, no matter what she says, she is dealing with the bruised ego of an actress who does not have a lot of credits, and that is a very difficult thing to deal with because once you're in that hole, no matter what you say is going to be an affront. And on top, it's like both an affront / an audition to anyone who might be watching now, because now they're like, I have to work on my IMDb, so I have to be dramatic. So Heather's lips are like so pursed, and she's like, that sounds very punitive to look me up like that. That's very punitive.
Oh, here we go with Heather and her misuse of punitive. And even if that is a technically correct use of punitive, I feel like Heather never uses punitive in a way that sounds correct or natural. She just likes that she knows the word punitive and says it a lot.
I would like to adjudicate that. So then Taylor... that was her word last year.
That's her other one. She'll pull that one out this season, I guarantee it. And Taylor's like, I just thought with your pedigree that they would be super excited. And Heather goes, that's very rude how you're saying that. She goes, what? She goes, your pedigree? What am I, a dog? I was like, okay, Miss Adjudicate Punitive, who doesn't understand pedigree used properly in a sentence.
Pedigree, it was... that was a nice thing to say. And everyone's like, it was a nice use of pedigree. It was a good use of pedigree. And Taylor's like, I thought with all the, the acting history that they would have been super excited to have you on board, And then Tamara goes, yeah. And I do have to call you out on one thing.
Tamara is terrible. Like, Taylor is so not going to get out of this because Tamara won't let her,
No, Taylor did actually try to nip this in the bud because she didn't bring up this whole casting tape thing. But Tamara she's just going to drag Taylor into it. She goes, Taylor, I have to call you out on one thing. We talked about how when you looked at her IMDb, you didn't think it was impressive.
Tamara was the one, too, sitting there being like,
oh my God, This is hilarious. What's like Hawaii 5 what? 0. How many credits are on here? 0.
Heather's like, you said that. You were not impressed with my IMDb.
And Taylor's like, well, when he came back to me and asked for a casting tape, I was like, well, let's see what she's done, because now I look fucking stupid. So we looked at, she goes, oh, that is so incredibly rude. I am someone who has put my entire life on hold, as many women do, for my family. And for you to denigrate my career is not only anti-female, it is not nice.
And I am at a crossroads in my life, figuring out who I am, and I just find this to be so incredibly rude. And for you to sit with Tamara and talk about my IMDb when you were offered a part, when you have never been in anything ever, and I was excited for you, that is the person that I am.
And the kind of person you are is to offer me a role that you had no business offering me in the first place, and then talk shit to all of my friends about my career. Fuck you. I was like, whoa. And Taylor's just like looking around. Heather, your IMDb is nothing to brag about, and that's okay. Get off your fucking high horse and get the stick out of your ass. Listen, I'm old. I don't have any career at all. And even I was like, I'm going to get an agent and start going to auditions. And I did it. And I don't regret it. But I'm not going to walk in there acting like I'm fucking Meryl Streep. Okay?
Yeah. That being said, Heather really has a way with a monologue, and she does a great one. I feel like every time she comes up with them, she does her once a season monologue, and I just feel like I can see like it, just like if I were a drag queen, I probably would memorize it and lip sync it on stage because I just love them. Last year's, of course, was legendary. This one, the way she managed to turn this IMDb issue into like, a statement about her being a mother and this being anti-woman and all that, like it's amazing. I was laughing out loud.
Well, she did a good job on that one. Well, this was a really fun episode of Real Housewives of Orange County.
Oh, hilarious. God, I just love a fight about an IMDb credit. Like, it's so good. This is actually like the news thing. Where the news thing where it's like the whole thing is very contrived. Taylor being in a movie, very contrived, but it's just yielding wonderful, wonderful results. So anyway, thank you everyone. Again, we're gonna have a whole week of content. So go check. Just because we're not gonna be here, we will still be here in some ways. So go tune in for all of that, and we will catch you soon enough, everyone. So thanks for being here. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary, it's the Green Fairy.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
There ain't no problem that Sarah Salvia can't solve ya.
Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors, the incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Erica, 500 Days of Summers.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. candle.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Can't have a meal without the Emily sides.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
We want to hang with Liz Lang.
Shannon out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch or Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Raising kids can be one of the greatest rewards of a parent's life. But come on, some days parenting is unbearable.
I Love My Kid, But is a new parenting podcast from Wondery that shares a refreshingly honest and insightful take on parenting. Hosted by myself, Megan Gailey, Chris Garcia, and Kurt Braunohler, we will be your resident not-so-expert experts. Each week, we'll share a parenting story that'll have you laughing, nodding, and thinking, oh yeah, I have absolutely been there.
We'll talk about what went right and wrong. What would we do differently? And the next time you step on yet another stray Lego in the middle of the night, you'll feel less alone.
So if you like to laugh with us as we talk about the hardest job in the world, listen to I Love My Kid, But wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or One.